And we are live. How's it going, guys?
Hey, doing good.
All right, so this is Clients First Networking Group. This is a weekly networking group that transitioned over to online networking. Today we have all about title. So in California, we're a title state. So we're going to have Jenny Scooble walk us through that process and go from there. Let's introduce ourselves. Get going. Christine, you want to go first?
Christine Walker with Legal Shield. We have legal services and identity theft protection for business owners and individuals.
Jeff?
And Jeff Crawl with Fifth Power Consulting. I coach business owners to build their ideal business and generate more revenue so that they can live their ideal life.
Perfect. And my name is Vinny, helping people buy and sell residential property in San Diego County. And we got Kevin Thomas right here. Kevin, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, good morning. Name's Kevin, financial advisor, helping people navigate the market environment and just educating them how to get ahead financially, basically, in this kind of crazy situation that's going on right now.
And we got Jenny Scooble. Jenny,
hey, good morning, guys.
Who are you?
What?
Who are you?
I'm Jenny Scooble with Stewart Title. We provide settlement services for real estate transactions.
Are you ready to get going, or do we need to give a little fluff before we get into your presentation? What do you think, Jenny?
I mean, I'm ready if you guys are.
All right.
We'll get on. Talking about?
What?
What kind of fluff?
I don't know. How are you guys doing today? You doing fantastic?
Oh, yeah, things are going great.
Look at that. We had someone excited about this event beforehand. Look at Dave. Oh, that's not him,
I'm
really.
here, Dave. Good.
All right. Well, Jenny, you want to go first, and then we'll jump in afterwards. Okay. We'll get off.
All right. 1 second. Hey, guys. All right. So I am going to present today on Stewart Title, kind of who we are, what we do, how we've been impacted, and the impacts on the real estate industry that we're experiencing right now. Go ahead and share my screen. All right, so Stewart Title. We were founded in 1893 in Galveston, Texas, headquartered in Houston. We've been issuing policies in 80 plus countries. After 127 years, we've been able to grow and be an industry leader. We do provide settlement services for real estate transactions. That's title and escrow. So we kind of get it from contract to closing. And in 2012, we were recognized as one of Forbes' top 100 most trustworthy companies. So we definitely have the size and scope for confidence, but don't just take my word for it. As far as ratings go, we've received a double prime rating for Stewart Title Guarantee Company, which is our parent company, and then an A prime for Stewart Title Insurance Company. This was affirmed by Demotech, which is the first rating agency in the title insurance arena. And basically what that means is, according to them, we have unsurpassed financial stability, regardless of the severity of a general economic downturn or deterioration in the insurance cycle, which this is really important for right now to know. We have strong capacity to meet our policyholder and contract obligations. And what is title insurance? Well, it's an indemnity policy. It protects you or your mortgage lender. Unlike home or auto insurance, it focuses on possible future hazards. It doesn't focus on possible future hazards. Home and auto insurance do, whereas title insurance is going to safeguard against the loss from hazards or defects in the policy prior to the issue date. California is an escrow state. Many people don't know, but some states are a little bit different. An escrow state basically means that a neutral third party directs the closing of the real estate transaction, and we can outsource the other services such as notary signings, and attorneys can be involved as well. However, in an attorney state, it basically requires it that an attorney, direct title, escrow, and all the other services in-house. We issue 2 types of policies. One is the California Land Title Association policy, which is more commonly known as the owner's policy. And what that does is protect the owner and claims made against their home. The other one's the ALTA, which is American Land Title Association, and that covers the lender on any outstanding balances on the mortgage. What do these policies protect against? Most people don't know that. They kind of just pay it through the transaction. Protects against any liens filed against the house. Those debts include taxes, child support, any contractor fees. And those liens really stick to the house like glue until it goes through sale or foreclosure with title insurance. It sticks to the assessor's parcel number, the APN, which is very similar to a social security number. And so it is really important to get those cleared before you take title on a home. We also protect against defects in the actual ownership of the property. Sometimes deeds can be forged. There's fraud, errors, there's omissions made. And then sometimes there are duplicate wills, conflicting wills, or updated wills and undisclosed errors that we have to kind of deal with. Now, all of those go away when you have a title insurance policy because we take care of it, step in to help. Typically find them before the closing. However, there are instances where something could come up afterwards, which is why you have the insurance so that you can file a claim with the company because they didn't find it in the initial research. It's needed pretty much any real estate transaction. So purchase, resale, refinance, short sale, vacant land, commercial, and for sale by owner. Anytime the property is exchanging hands, it is needed. And our process for it is going through contract. Once we get the contract, we start the title search. We go ahead and look, hey, are there any liens, any encumbrances that we need to find and make sure it's off title when the new buyer takes possession. And then during that processing, escrow requires the payoff demands. Everything gets paid off. Then we record, close, seller gets the money left over from the sale, and then we issue the title policy to the buyer.
Hey, Jenny. So
Yeah.
the slides aren't going through. We
No.
were letting you go without the slides. Christine and Jeff feel that it's needed for the thing. I think you're doing great with it, but they're saying that it is needed. So let's, if you want to try to share again your slide.
Okay.
And then
Thank you. Yeah, I'm so sorry about that. Thanks for letting me know. I don't know that I've done it on StreamYard before, so.
Yeah, I mean,
Can you guys see my screen?
my personal opinion, I think it might take more time to try to if there's an issue trying to get it through. But it's fully up to you if you want to try to push through. Oh, there we go. It's coming through now.
Can you guys see it? All right. I appreciate you guys letting me know because I was on full screen for my presentation and couldn't see. Is it good now? All right.
Yeah, good.
Sorry about that, guys. So here's the first slide going over who we were, our size and scope, our AA prime rating, short title guarantee, financial strength you can count on, and then title insurance. What it was is the fact that we're an escrow state, the two different types of policies. What does it protect against? And again, that title insurance will step in to help on any of those. So the different transactions for when title insurance is needed. And this is our closing process, simplified for the consumer to understand. These are the different ways to hold title. It can differ, and the best way really depends on the individual situation. So some people do like to just own it outright as sole ownership. Other people put it in a trust or LLC. That can be one person, multiple people, or just to divide the interest. But it does also give instructions as to how to proceed with the property should the person that owns it dies. Because then it's held in the trust. It gives express instructions to anybody that would be looking at a will or needing to divide up the property so they can avoid probate. Now, there are other ways to hold it, like tenancy in common. That can be a married couple or domestic partnership. no survivorship rights. So it either goes to whatever's in the will or goes through probate. Joint tenancy is equal rights of possession with rights of survivorship. So should one person pass, it goes to the other person. And then community property makes it so that there's an interest. Each interest is separate, but management is unified. And then you can do that with or without the rights of survivorship. Now, I mean, COVID-19 is what everyone's kind of dealing with. We're not, excluded from that. We've been adapting, and thankfully we were designated as an essential service in the financial sector. When we were kind of designated that, we still kept our offices open but close to the public. We did, minimize the amount of people that were in the office because we wanted to make sure that we can implement all the social distancing guidelines. So everyone's 6 feet away, everyone wears masks, and people like me in the sales or support teams, we are working from home. We already had a lot of things kind of in place, though, to help us with this. So we had e-recording, which just gets the documents straight to the county. So we have that all set up for years. And so that was really seamless. We also have online document tracking through stewartnow.com, which kind of shows anyone in the party where we're at within a transaction. So, from what documents we're waiting on, who we might be waiting on them from, you can instantly just go online, look at that, and kind of know where in the process the sale is going. We also experienced really minimal disruption to our preliminary title reports, which I know some of the competitors were experiencing delays up to a week. On refinances, we were quoting 24 to 48 hours, but really it was getting them sometimes in 4 hours, and usually in at least 24 hours. So that was really nice for us to not really experience any delays in that, because we don't want to create any disruptions throughout a sales process. Things that we do have to consider, though, our wire fraud is on the rise. So being extra careful, this does sometimes cause a little bit of a delay in the process, because we have to make sure that everything is according to plan. And then, of course, we're impacted by the current market. I mean, current real estate sales will always impact us. And the impact a lot has been on U.S. mortgages. They put a moratorium on foreclosures and evictions, which means that we're not seeing any notice of defaults, and nobody can be evicted or foreclosed on during this time. When that ends, we're not really sure, but as of right now, I believe May 11th is the last recorded numbers. We have almost 8% of homeowners. That's almost 4 million loans in forbearance. And that what the forbearance is that is kind of like a deferment, but there's a big balloon payment at the end of the deferment period. Most are in forbearance for 90 days. Because that hasn't reached that point yet, the effects of the forbearance and the number of people in it are still yet to be seen. Prior to the COVID, though, I think it was 0.25% of homeowners were in forbearance. So we've gone up over 7.5% on that. Unemployment will also likely have an impact, but we haven't really seen the numbers of that yet. I did get some data from FDAR to give you guys a monthly snapshot, looking at April over the past 3 years, just to kind of see where we're at in San Diego. And in April, I think that, oh, there we go. You can see that, I mean, we were on the rise. 2018 to 2019, we saw a really big increase in new listings for both detached and attached homes. And then in 2020, we're down 44.3% on detached and 33.7% on attached. So definitely down on new listings. And then pending sales, very similar, down 40 and 45% year over year from 2019 to 2020. And closed sales, not quite as down, but I think that's because we had a lot of things in escrow from before, and that's 31.1 on detached, 32.6% on attached. Pricing, however, we can actually go in the opposite direction. Pricing is still kind of staying strong and going up. The median sales price went up 4.4% on detached, which is condos, for anybody that doesn't know that, condos, townhomes, and then attached to single family residences. And that's up 4.2% for the median sales price. Average sales price, also up, not quite as much on detached, but definitely up on attached. And then the volume of closed sales is down, reflecting the previous numbers from the active listings, pending, and closed sales. So while we're not seeing As many listings come on the market and as many escrows, we're still seeing that pricing is holding strong, which is, interesting numbers to look at. And I'm really interested to see what happens at the end of May. Now, for inventory, the inventory of available properties is down, which means that the month supply is down to 1.6 on the detached and 1.9 months on attached, which is super low, indicating that it still is a seller's market, which is why our numbers have still been really high as far as pricing goes. We have really strong buyer demand. Mortgage rates are as low as ever. And so days on market are actually going down. And in some instances, people are experiencing multiple offers within a couple of days of listing. So it is still a great time to put your home on the market. As you can see, days on market is down from 33 last year in April of 2020 to 22 on detached, and down from 29 to 21 on attached. Our industry is adapting in a lot of different ways. Real estate agents are doing virtual showings and tours. Zoom meetings are the biggest hit. Obviously, we're streaming on StreamYard. Online document tracking like we've had in place. E-signing on all documents. The only thing is California has not approved for remote online notarization. So notaries are also an essential service and still using mobile notaries to go and be in person for the signings. Like I mentioned, mortgage rates are still at an all-time low. Demand for buyers that can get approved, that haven't lost their jobs, is still really high. And we're seeing a lot of movement in the marketplace. Supply is down, but with the strong demand, our housing market is strong, which is very different from previous recessions. And so it's unlike what we've experienced before. People I'd love to help as far as connecting them, getting them information, inspiring them to do more during this time if they need more business, and finding things out there, is real estate agents, mortgage brokers and originators, for sale by owners, anyone refinancing their home, and then real estate attorneys. I'd love to connect with them. Thank you. Jenny Scuba, there's my contact info. Would love to help you, and let me know if you guys have any questions. Did it work that time, guys?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was good. Good job.
Oh, good.
Awesome.
Questions? Christine, Jeff?
With so we meet somebody. What's the best way to introduce you?
Text or email. Just letting them know. I mean, if they're in the real estate industry and they need help with, finding property data is a good way. I can always help with helping them find or reach out to like past clients. I mean, it's always on an individual basis. So I like to know, what their need might be and how I might be able to fulfill that.
And then I know San Diego for sure. Are there other areas that you can help out with?
San Diego for refinances, I can help anywhere in California. We do have offices throughout, and our title fees are the same. I can help with resales as well. So anyone that that might be selling their home or refinancing.
Okay.
Jenny, there's a question from Dave.
Okay. I deal with a lot of private mortgages or junior liens, which are not always recorded prior to buying or selling, but should still be valid. How can I work with the title company to ensure this? We can only really work with anything that's recorded on the property. So getting it recorded on a property is the most important way. If it's not recorded, then we can't necessarily protect against it. There are ways to do it. I mean, the county is closed to the public. However, they have, there are sites where you can record online and pay somebody to do that.
Oh, I have a question. Well, actually, it's just a comment. Thank you for that report comparison, because I've actually had some people talk to me about wanting to sell their house, and I know about the stock market, and you hear mixed news about the real estate market. I was watching a video on Redfin, how he talked about. He was just talking about that, the market shouldn't be impacted overly, but how you kind of gave those some comparison charts about days on market last year versus days on market this year. That was definitely very informative. So thank you.
Thanks. Yeah, I think that it's really important to look at the numbers because while the real estate market has slowed down, I think that a lot of the chief economists that I've heard on podcasts or read articles from are still still very positive outlook and think that the market will come back strong. We might not see as much sold this year due to this because most people don't want to leave their home while they're, possibly fighting in a pandemic, but that there are still people out there that want to buy.
Well, the interesting thing, I was doing a market update yesterday, and we're seeing an uptick in properties going on the market, yet a downtick in properties being sold.
Okay.
So seeing that over the last couple of weeks. So it was about 500, 600 on average for the last month on a weekly basis going on the market. And then this last couple of weeks, it's been about 900, 800, around there. So it's been an uptick, but then we're now in the selling of properties around like in the 200s.
Okay.
So it'd be interesting to see how it all plays out.
Yeah. Is that pending or closed?
Closed.
Okay. Because I would wonder to see how the pending looks because up until, I don't know, maybe a couple weeks ago, we were only able to list homes that were vacant too. So
we were still able to list homes. People just were scared of listing their properties that weren't occupied. So that was the difficult part of it. But now people are more feeling okay, I think, with the idea of having the property in the market.
Or people couldn't tour the occupied homes for a little bit, right?
Yeah, the only time that you couldn't really tour it was when we weren't technically essential workers for about a week or 5 days or something like that. Because if you went out there, you were kind of going against the rules.
Rebel.
Yeah, exactly. So now there's just all these documents that kind of play out that allow you more safety, more relax on it. But it'll be interesting because we had a lot of fallout too, though. We had a lot of properties taken off the market, going back on the market. So it's kind of So it'll be interesting. What do you think is going to happen, being that you're so ingrained with title and seeing like all the foreclosures that were happening before, and now we're getting the forbearances? Do you think we're going to get a big influx? What are your people kind of telling you about that once it gets lifted?
Based on what I've heard, it probably wouldn't. If we were to see an influx, it'd be in 12 to 18 months, because there is no solution for, if everybody in forbearance just doesn't make that big balloon payment. There are forbearance forgiveness programs. There's other debt mediation type of things that they'll try to do first before they foreclose on the homeowner. So if we were to see something, it would probably be in 12 to 18 months for them to get there. That's always the unknown. Obviously, if unemployment continues like it is, that is possible. However, I am hoping that we, are able to start reopening the economy. I think that the San Diego board is meeting today to see if they can open up dining because Newsom just paved the way for counties to be able to do that and to vote on that. So I think that when we reopen the economy and how soon we are able to do that is going to be way better for the homes marketing situation.
Well, if anyone lives in Little Italy, aren't they talking about closing off the streets and having like the seating outside or something like that? Did you see that?
They already have one open marketplace, and they were actually supposed to do that in Gaslamp too. They're going to close down from like Market to the Hard Rock Hotel, and it was going to be a kind of like a promenade out there, so you wouldn't be able to drive on there. That's actually something that's still approved, I'm guessing, happening. I think that they were just trying to decide if it would go all the way to Broadway or just from Market Street. So it might not be approved yet. It might still be in talks, but it was, I think, going to happen for sure.
Can I tell you one last question you didn't talk about, but it's something, being in the real estate field, we do some cold calling, have a negative contact and a positive, whatever. So the numbers that are attached actually to public records, right, that you can get, where is someone putting that phone number? Is that when they're signing their grant deed? Do you know how that's kind of how that happens?
I don't know where it comes from because we use a service called Title Toolbox, which is completely like RESPA compliant, and it gives agents access to records as far as like emails, phone numbers, and while the accuracy of that I think is around like 75%. I believe it just comes from public records and recorded.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Didn't mean to throw you in the spot. I was just like, I wonder with that if you'd have the.
Yeah, a lot of times those get outsourced, and are coming from other companies that provide it. And they work really closely with the title companies to help us get that information.
Okay. Anything else, Jeff? You want to throw anything in, or Christine?
Yeah, that was great.
All right.
Sorry you guys couldn't see my slides at first.
No, that's okay.
This is my first presentation on StreamYard, so when I was sharing my screen too, I couldn't see anything but my slideshow.
Yeah, no, it went positive. I'm glad Christine and Jeff pushed me. I was like, you know what, you're doing so good with it. I don't think you need the slide. And then they're like, no, get her the slide, get her the slide, get her the slide. I was like,
Thank
all right,
you.
let me jump on here, Jenny. So hopefully everyone watching got some great information about title. If you have any questions about title, reach out to Jenny. If you're getting to the real estate field and you probably have a cousin, brother that's thinking about getting to the real estate field, reach out to Jenny also. She can kind of help you out, put together a game plan and kind of building relationships. For people watching, the reason why Kevin went off, he's taking care of his 2 kids, and sometimes he jumps on, sometimes he jumps off. So just FYI on that. All right, you want to finish it with an ideal referral? Jenny, you want to go first?
Yeah, like my last slide, real estate agents, especially right now, if they're needing motivation, need to find a way to get out, to reach out to clients and find some business. There is business out there during COVID, and then also real estate or mortgage lenders, because our prelims are super quick. Our service is not slowed down, and that's something that's been really appreciated by our current clients right now.
And for me, any business owners, a lot of them have questions regarding COVID. Are they essential? How to handle employees? What if an employee gets sick? And so any questions like that, Legal Shield will be able to help.
For me, business owners, for sure, especially with all the COVID, if you need to pivot your business to generate more revenue because you're not able to generate the revenue that you could, that would definitely be a major reason to reach out to me. I also do personal coaching, and then the other thing that people don't know about me is I have a best-selling book. It's all about helping people find their soulmate. So typically those are business owners or single or professionals that are really looking to find their soulmate. I've got a whole process for that, and you can reach out for me for any of those reasons.
Kevin?
Ideal referral would be people who essentially watch their money drop and are paranoid about the market, and they're seeing it recover now, but they're not understanding what's going on because they're like all this unemployment and all this stuff, but the market's going up. I don't understand kind of the correlation there. And a lot of times it could just be maybe the investments they have, or maybe they're not properly matched up with their risk tolerance. Or there's some people that are trying to find the opportunity and kind of get in the market run up. So just educating them on creating a proper financial plan and not just gambling, but planning and using whatever opportunities there are to reach their goals. So people concerned about the market and how to navigate it. Those would be ideal referral.
My ideal referral is someone, the move-up buyer right now, someone that's looking to sell a property, probably in that $600,000 range or under, and looking to purchase above around 700,000. Those are 2 different markets right now, and it's a great time because rates are still fairly low. They did see a small uptick yesterday, yet they're still, crazy low. So if you're looking to move up, have an extra kid, just need a bigger house, whatever it might be, please reach out. Hey, let's finish it off. We got a couple minutes. Let's finish it off with either the story that happened to you, something that with the COVID that you actually had to adapt to, and now it's making your business go a little better, anything like that. Anyone got either a positive story, anything like that we can share?
I'll start.
All right, Kevin.
And I think I've mentioned this before, just these virtual conferences that started doing before, I drive to 2 and 3 meetings a day and gas and all of that. And now it's like, man, I should have been doing virtual conferences for a while. It's great between saving time, money. Honestly, it forces me to be more organized. I was a yellow pad type person, so I'd bring a yellow pad, draw everything out. but now kind of forces me to have everything kind of laid out in a clear PowerPoint, just because obviously you can't do a yellow pad on a virtual conference. So going forward, it'll help me save time, and definitely recommend virtual conferences for anybody. There's not just Zoom, there's multiple platforms. So yeah.
I agree with that, but I mean, nothing will replace like one-on-one human interaction, but there's definitely those follow-up meetings where I, help people or show them our programs that they can use. And it's so much easier to teach them through a Zoom meeting, and being able to share the screen and show them instead of like in person and kind of switching on and off the computer. So I'm really excited for that and to implement that even going forward.
With us, it's been a great transition where we can meet with multiple clients at once, or we can have will workshops because the will's included in the plan, or how to get started membership workshops. And that's something that we hadn't done in the past. And so we just started implementing it. So it's been going good.
Yeah, I can share a couple things. So one of my clients in New Hampshire, or actually Connecticut, his business stopped. He's a financial advisor. He's as far as lead generation, and so he couldn't meet people and so on. So we transitioned him to virtual meetings, and we transitioned him to marketing through digital platforms, Facebook, LinkedIn, and so on, and started marketing seminars for him. And so when he did that, he started seeing a fluctuation in all of his appointments. They all started going up, and he's now adding new clients and so on, which is something he wouldn't have pivoted to if it wasn't because of this. And so now he has multiple ways to generate clients versus just one way beforehand. And I think the other positive thing is just hanging out with my family. I think it's so powerful to be able to be stuck at home, my 3 kids, my beautiful wife. And I think that's a positive thing people don't forget. I I really enjoy it. So as much as being stuck sucks, it's nice to know that I'm able to spend that quality time, and I'm sure Kevin can attest to that as well.
Yeah, I think for myself, it's been the market updates that we're doing on Monday and Friday is having a better understanding, because the market is changing on a weekly, monthly basis. So keeping track of what's coming off the market, going on the market, because if you're doing the business on a daily basis, you feel it in your gut what's going on, right? Yet without seeing the numbers, you don't know if you're reaffirming what your gut's telling you or your gut's totally off. And so by doing those numbers, it kind of allowed me to recognize, okay, this is what's going on. Maybe this is how it's trending. So it's kind of pushed me to hyper focus on that. I'm going to finish it off with Dave. He has a course. Let's see. It's called Facebook.com Note Peer-to-Peer. So if anyone's looking for a 6-week course in real estate investing. All right. Anything else, guys?
That's it.
All right, guys.
All
well,
good.
on to the next one. See you next Tuesday.